A boy walked into the black market to sell his own organs. He asked the boss for the kidney rate and the cornea rate. The boss looked up. "Kid, are you serious?" In 6 months, he'd already sold a kidney, a spleen, a gallbladder, and his testicles. He smiled on the slab. For his sick sister, anything was worth it. "Fine," the boss said. "Since you've got guts, kid, no holding back." The blade came down. The boy did not flinch. A green moon hung over the alley. Somewhere, a man screamed. Behind him rose a thing of red eyes and teeth. This is the story of the supreme curse master. Then his feet hit the ground running. Ow, my kneecap, my hip joint. Selling organs has consequences. He ducked into a corner. Good, nobody followed me. Then his eye grew back. Skin sealed over. Pieces returned. Quietly, neatly, in seconds. He counted the cash. 30,000 yuan, enough for the ritual. A sick sister? A dying mom? And you actually believed all that? There was no sick sister. He had been laughing the whole time. His name is Ye Lin. He is a transmigrator and a textbook orphan. He landed in a world unlike his own, a world thick with spiritual energy, crowded with demons and beasts, and countless dungeon realms, opening like wounds in the sky. Surviving as an orphan in a world like that is hard, until he discovered his unique ability. Body regeneration. Cuts, organs, limbs, anything grows back in minutes. So he sold his own body, piece by piece, to save up 100,000 yuan. The price of one class transfer ritual. The price of becoming someone strong. Strong enough to protect the orphanage that raised him. And today is the day. The big day. His classmates spot him. "Yulin, a poor kid like you here?" Ms. Wang met him at the gate. "You took out a class transfer loan." She winced. "If you draw a useless class, you'll be paying it back forever. Since it's come to this, go in. Give it your all." Inside, the ritual hall waited. Rows of students, one golden orb. The principal raised a hand. Next, another poor student stepped up. The crowd whispered about the loan. "Place your hand on it," the principal said gently, "and relax." The orb flared yellow. Support class. The boy's heart sank. "There are no useless classes," the principal smiled. "Only useless people." Then she walked in, and the room remembered how to breathe. "Goddess Nini, you can do it!" The boys, predictably, lost their minds. The principal nodded. "Good luck, Zhuganini." She set her hand on the orb, and the orb erupted in a column of fire. The principal froze. An SSS-Rank fire mage. The academy can finally hold its head high. The boys re-evaluated their marriage prospects. Downward, Ye Lin watched. An SSS fire mage can fight an army. That brat is lucky. The principal beamed. "We'll build a special training plan just for you." Next, Ye Lin. The whispers started before he reached the orb. He stepped forward. "I'm not going to be your side character. To live a miserable life, or to defy fate, it all comes down to this." His hand met the orb, and the room went white. A blue dragon rose around him. Zhugnini turned, mouth open. "He could be SSS rank too?" The principal stared. This is Forbidden Curse Master, combat class, rank, SSS. Today you honor the academy. Tomorrow the academy honors you." Then the principal's smile slipped. "Wait, a Forbidden Curse Master?" The whisper rolled through the room. "No Forbidden Curse Master ever lived past 25. Zhuganini sighed. What a shame. The school goddess had her opinion. Loan to change class. Loan to use skills. Heaven straight to hell, kid. The principal sighed. Better to burn bright than live a meaningless life. "I'll train you and Zhug personally," he added. "Come with me." Yelin smiled to himself. Heh, they wouldn't know. Curse masters die young? What does that have to do with my immortality? Yelin had survived yesterday. Today, the world wasn't done with him. Final bell, another ordinary day at an ordinary school. Yelin walked home alone. He preferred it that way. Glasses, backpack, no friends. Hardly the look of a chosen one. A woman in red flickered through his head. He had no idea who she was. Lately, his head was full of things that didn't belong to him. Visions, voices, a name on the tip of his tongue. He shook it off, probably the homework getting to him. Then the local bullies arrived, right on schedule. Two cousins, two reasons he was going to be late for dinner. They mocked his job offer, a guard post at J.I. Corp., courtesy of the family. They laughed harder. Ye Lin, in their opinion, was easier than homework. Then a shadow stepped out of nowhere, bald, smiling, holding something that should not exist. An eye opened in the air. It was looking only at Ye Lin. Nobody else seemed to see it. Of course they didn't. A curse aimed at his soul. Today was officially worse than homework. Ye Lin braced for an end he didn't understand. The sky split. A wall of blue lightning answered for him. The bald man hit the ground, smoking, regretful. Ye Lin walked away, as if nothing had tried to kill him. Home, the one place that still felt sane. His mother was waiting. She knew none of this. His mother fussed. He nodded politely and ate his curse-free dinner. Across town, the moon rose over a different kind of evening, and the woman in red was no longer just a vision. She moved across the rooftops like she owned them. Somewhere, a camera caught her. Briefly, the night shift at J.I. Corp. Suddenly had something to talk about. The guard squinted. He had not been paid for cryptid sightings. She was already gone. The screen kept her shape for a second longer. Up the chain, the report landed on serious people. An intruder on J.I. Corp. grounds with no ID. Heads were going to roll. They sent a team, quietly, hoping to catch her before sunrise. Sunrise came anyway. Morning. The city pretended nothing had happened. Ye Lin headed out. New day, same reluctant uniform. Then a familiar figure spotted him from across the street. Ye Lin sighed. Mornings rarely improved. His friend was loud, blonde, and convinced today would be amazing. Ye Lin had a different theory. Together, they walked toward whatever came next. The friend was hyped. About what, even he wasn't sure. He pitched the J.I. Corp internship like a pyramid scheme. Ye Lin agreed mostly to make the talking stop. They headed out together, toward the place that was hunting her. And up in the mountains, something began to open. Far from the city, an ancient gate stood waiting, and the doorway was open. A spinning eye of blue. A portal, leading somewhere the maps did not cover. Cultivators stepped through, ready for war. The villagers cheered. The elders welcomed the heroes. A great evil had been beaten back, but two of them were quietly worried. Something had not gone to plan. Their leaders argued the seal had not held the way it should have. Then golden light tore the air apart, and in the middle of it stood the woman in red. She had crossed worlds for a reason, and his name was Ye Lin. The world tilted. Suddenly the city was nowhere to be found. Trees, sky, no school. Ye Lin had been pulled somewhere else. He stood alone, just him, and a forest that hummed with power. Lightning gathered in the air around him, nervously polite. Something landed nearby, hard, and his real life, finally, decided to begin. He should have died on the mountain. He woke up here instead. The forest was quiet, suspiciously quiet. Ye Lin took stock. He was alive. That alone was unexpected. He remembered the mountain, the bodies, the man in the dark cloak, glasses, calm, smiling, like a man trying out a new toy. The curse opened above the peak. It looked like a doorway someone had cut into the sky. Cultivators ran, then they stopped running. Spikes punched through bone. The curse did not negotiate. Ye Lin was at the center. The light reached him last. His own body stopped answering him. Then the world tilted, and there was only the dark. Something woke up inside him on the way down. Inside him, something opened its eyes. A name surfaced in the dark. Forbidden curse. Hellfire. The flames had no interest in mercy. When the smoke cleared, the mountain was empty. Almost. Back in the present. The forest, the silence, the survivor. Then movement. Something landed in the clearing. She had red hair, red dress, and eyes that did not belong to anything human. She looked him over the way a butcher looks at a cut. She smiled. It was not a comforting smile. She wanted to know what he was. He had not planned to meet a demoness today. Plans, he had learned, were optional. A small fire. Two strangers. the civilized opening of an uncivilized conversation. She asked her questions. He kept his answers short. She wanted a demonstration, the kind that involves a body count. He raised an eyebrow. She raised the stakes. She unfolded herself like a banner waiting for a war. He waited. Patience was free. Then she pointed into the trees, and the trees pointed back. She named her terms. He listened, the way one listens to weather. "Survive what was coming," she said, "and we have something to discuss." She gestured at the dark like she owned it. Ye Lin stood up. He had been doing a lot of standing up lately. She gave him room to work. Generous, in her way. Then the trees started moving. They did not move alone. A monster stepped into the clearing. A large one. A loud one. It came in fast. Faster than anything that big should. She watched, calmly, the way you watch a kettle. Why is a level 5 running this far north? She wondered. Ye Lin lifted his hand. The air remembered something cruel. Black flame curled around his fingers. Polite and patient. The beast charged. The fire did not flinch. The forest lit up red. The demoness leaned in, interested. He shaped the fire into a blade. He swung once. Once was enough. The blade went through the beast like an honest opinion through a bad meeting. The demoness stopped smiling. That, for her, was a compliment. The beast went up like dry leaves in August. Ash drifted down. The forest exhaled. She studied him. New plans were forming behind her eyes. The flames kept eating, long after they had run out of beast. Black fire in this part of the world did not exist. Until tonight. The demoness recognized it. Of course she did. He let the fire die. He had nothing else to prove tonight. She asked him for a name. He thought about it. Names mattered now. He stood in the smoke and the green and the quiet. "Call me Ye Lin," he said. "Ling for early dawn, Yi for night." Ye Lin had a problem. The problem was on fire. One swing, and the Hellfire beast lost its head. A girl had been watching from the bushes. "It was you," she whispered. "You saved me." She asked, very politely, for his name. He answered, "Yi Lin, Ling for dawn, Yi for night." He was, in fact, a forbidden cursemancer, the strongest one alive. She blushed. He had not noticed. "Classmate," she said, "let me thank you properly." "Woman, I don't need your thanks," he said. It was a small effort. He turned to walk away. She did not. "Don't follow. Stronger monsters live here." Then, after a beat, "Also, put your clothes back on." She looked down. She had, in fact, forgotten. She let out a small, mortified squeak. "Ye Lin, one day I will catch up to you," she shouted at the trees. The trees did not respond. He was already gone. "That should keep her from clinging," he muttered. "Stupid girl." He had wasted enough time. He needed to grind levels, fast. A new forbidden curse, only 1.5 years of life to learn. Each forbidden curse, he reasoned, was one near-fatal blow he could shrug off, which meant, in his head, this was just too good. Now I can grind levels recklessly. Nobody can stop my pace. 3 days later, the corpses began to pile up. Meanwhile, 3 school principals were enjoying a very civilized morning. One bragged. His student had reached level 11, a school record, and then a 4th man arrived. The principals went very quiet. Mr. Zhuge Quangqing, top astrologer of the realm. He had come to see his daughter, Nini, pride of Gingcheng Academy. "Look, someone's coming out." The principals glanced. The hour wasn't up. Coming out now meant injury. It was a girl with red hair, very much uninjured. "Greetings, principal," she said. He asked her level. "Already level 12, Nini answered. The crowd inhaled sharply. Level 12? She broke the record in one go. Nini, however, looked annoyed. She'd come out early for a reason. She wanted to find Ye Lin. She was, in her opinion, owed a thank you. Meanwhile, Ye Lin, deep in a frozen ravine, suddenly sneezed. "Strange," he said. "It's not cold here. Is someone cursing me?" Maybe I grinded too hard, he wondered. The bodies behind him agreed. He decided to widen his hunting ground with another forbidden curse. Forbidden curse. Instantaneous dance. Cost, 10 months of his lifespan. And somehow a kidney. Reward, Agility no level 50 assassin could match. He was thrilled. He cracked his knuckles. Let's go. A nest of winged demons noticed him. Briefly. All mine, he grinned. Lightning surged through his hands. Another sacrifice paid in advance. Forbidden spell. Ashen fierce thunder. Sky split. Ravine vaporized. Demons canceled. Almost lost my life there, he admitted, slightly impressed with himself. Back at the test, Nini was pacing. Ye Lin still had not appeared. The announcer called it. 5 minutes left in the trial. 3 minutes. Nini's calm was beginning to crack. Then a figure stepped out of the gate. That must be him. Time was up. I came out. Is there a problem? He asked. Don't talk to me, she snapped. Stay away. What's wrong with her? He thought. Psycho. The principal asked the question everyone wanted answered. Yilin, what level are you? I'm level 16. The previous record had been level 11. He had spent years hiding his power. Today, the school would notice anyway. Ye Lin called him a coward. He let her. Coward suited him. Coward kept him alive. Then the principal walked over, smiling like he already knew. I'm level 9, Ye Lin said. The hallway forgot how to breathe. The principal didn't laugh. That was, frankly, the surprise. A level 9 at your age, he said. That is something else entirely. Ye Lin watched, decided she had misjudged the boy. The principal asked the obvious question. Why hide such a gift? Ye Lin gave him a poor family, a sick mother, a careful smile. He spoke of bullies, of weakness, of staying small to survive. He described a secret manual found by chance. The principal nodded warmly. Every word was a lie. The principal believed everyone. The principal offered patronage, a noble's family, a future, sealed and signed. Ye Lin scoffed. The boy, in her opinion, still smelled of nothing. First, the principal said, the academy required proof. Ye Lin smiled, just a little. She enjoyed tests other people had to take. A test crystal lit between them. Cold blue, old craft. Ye Lin asked the question Ye Lin had been waiting for. The principal asked him to bring a willow branch from across the room. A simple task for a level 9. A casual one, even. Ye Lin reached, focused, and stumbled like a child on stairs. The willow snapped against the wall. The room went quiet. Ye Lin laughed, finally on familiar ground. How dare you waste the principal's time, she said. The principal apologized, in his way, said the test was a hard one. Only 3 willow branches existed in the entire academy archive. Ye Lin bowed. He apologized for the willow he had just murdered. The principal handed him a fresh one. Try again, slowly. Ye Lin, in his head, allowed himself one tiny smile. Outside, the city kept moving. Somewhere, someone was already watching. Ye Lin took the second branch, tasted something off in the air. It's making me dizzy, he said, and let himself fall. A masked man stepped from a curtain that should not have been there. Bring him over, said a voice. The principal said it. A single candle, a different room. The lesson begins. The henchman knelt, reported a delivery like a butcher reporting meat. The boss listened. A new face, a new plan, a new way to get rich. Children with talent fetched fine prices in this part of the city. The boss laughed. He had built a long career on other people's promise. On the floor, Ye Lin opened one eye, just slightly. The boss leaned close, wanted a private word with the new toy. He asked Ye Lin where the secret manual had really come from. Ye Lin opened his eyes properly. The room felt suddenly small. You really are level 9, the boss whispered. He had seen something move. Cold air gathered around Ye Lin, the way wolves gather around a fire. An ice element bloomed in his palm, pale, unbothered, ancient. Forbidden zone, the old books said. Mistakes were punished here. The boss stared. He had not planned to meet a real level 9 today. Frost spread along the floor, the walls, the boss's own boots. Impossible, the boss said. The ice politely disagreed. A level 9 child, a poor family, no recorded master. Nothing here added up. He tried his last move, bargained, promised, begged. Ye Lin, calmly, kept gathering the cold. I will tell you, the boss said. I will tell you everything. Blood came from a cut he did not remember earning. The cold had teeth. Ye Lin waited, patient as winter. Ice spikes rose like a forest, walls, floor, and pride alike. The boss sobbed, knees on the floor, hands open. "Speak," Ye Lin said, "or stay here and become part of the floor." The boss spoke very fast. Names tumbled out. Then one name slowed him down. "Our king," he whispered. Qingcheng's underground king. Kensen. Kensen, top 10 philanthropist of Qingcheng. This had just become complicated. The interrogation had reached the part where lying stops being useful. Red curses bloomed on the young master's palm. The prisoner reconsidered his silence. The name fell out of his mouth. King Kenshin, the underground boss. A familiar name. Things were now officially complicated. The old butler arrived with tea, a smile, and difficult news. Their family secret, he said, must be protected at any cost. Outside, the city stretched bright and indifferent under a clean sky. Two figures approached the gates. A reunion neither side had asked for. A cousin and a rival. Same family tree, very different branches. From this day forward, he would carry the family name himself. Outsiders, of course, would not be told. Outsiders rarely were. He doubted his cousin would believe a single word of it. Still, the show had to be performed. The household greeted their young master in 2 perfect rows. A maid was dressing for duty. The morning kept its small dignities. Downstairs, the cousin pressed about an old debt of family blood. The young master answered politely. He answered nothing. The cousin pressed harder. The household kept very still. Whatever was happening inside this house, the cousin meant to find it. The red carpet led somewhere expensive and almost certainly illegal. An auction for the city's wealthiest sinners, invitation only. The crowd waited to learn what they were about to bid on. 2 old rivals exchanged the kind of smile that promises nothing. Money changed hands before a single lot had been called. At his table, the young master poured wine and waited to be useful. Across the room, an old acquaintance noticed him first. The red-haired swordswoman came as a guest. She came armed anyway. Her companion, in pale armor, said little and missed nothing. Whispers spread through the hall. Someone here was supposed to be dead. The young master raised his glass to the rumor and drank. The first lot was carried in under heavy security. Bidders straightened. Servers vanished. The room turned professional. The auctioneer named the item. Nobody pretended to be surprised. The young master tilted his head. This was the lot he'd come for. A nearby bidder leaned over with the friendly smile of an enemy. He suggested the young master step aside. The young master declined. The bidder explained, slowly, who his employer was. It was a name meant to end conversations. It did not end this one. The young master smiled. He had a name of his own to spend. The spotlight rose. A woman stood under it, alone and very still. The auctioneer named her bloodline and her awakened fire talent. Hands went up around the room. The bidding climbed fast. The bidders thinned out. The numbers stopped sounding real. 2 bidders remained. The young master watched and waited. Mr. Noggs took it for 3 million. The hall exhaled. The young master never raised his hand. Forbidden curses needed no scrolls. Ye Lin needed gear. His enemies wouldn't wait politely while he shopped. The auction opened with an epic rank fire skill scroll. Hands rose. The numbers climbed past 3 million. Watching the chaos, Ye Lin looked utterly bored. Behind every cultivator stood a debt, a demon, or both. His father, Lin Yu, was a B-rank cultivator and decent at it. The next item appeared, a ring shaped like a coiled dragon. Bids climbed past 3 million. The wallets in the room flinched. Ye Lin leaned over and quietly told his father, "Bid on this one." Lin Yu didn't ask why. He simply nodded. Lin Yu raised his hand and called 8 million. The room went still. 8 million, going once. Then a new voice, casual as a knife. 10 million. It was Kenzen, president of the underground arena, and trouble. Kenzen drifted over for a chat. He smiled like a man already winning. Ye Lin recognized him at once and turned his face away. Kenzen wanted to know why the G group had insulted his men. Lin Yu played dumb. The G group, he warned, was not easy prey. Kenzin smiled wider. 12 million, he said. The crowd whispered about a car, a warehouse, and the G Group's villa. In a back row, a stranger in a mask quietly raised his hand. Hammer down. The dragon ring went to Lin Yu, for him to keep. Ling Yu, his cousin, asked who that masked maniac had been. Ye Lin warned them. Kenzin never loses a grudge cleanly. Stay careful. The ring's secret. Dragon possession, luck and spirit, both raised. Ye Lin slipped the dragon ring on. He was, in his own opinion, slightly less doomed. Lin Yu offered his nephew anything else he might need. They left for the back rooms, where the real shopping happened. The shopkeeper asked what the young master wanted. First, an azure thunder ring, a small jolt for any unwelcome guest. Then a molten moon necklace and a dual yin-yang bracelet. Healing, attack, defense. Ye Lin was buying himself a small army. Last, a sword called Starfall Fracture, sharp enough for his nullifying spell. He gripped the hilt. The blade hummed back like it knew his name. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a very different conversation. The G Group had spent over 100 million on Ye Lin in one day. In a hotel suite, a red-headed woman named Yan Wei listened from her bath. She wanted news of Ling Ye. Her maid said visitors had brought some. Downstairs waited Miss Zug of the Investigation Bureau. With her stood investigator Huang, who claimed to know something. The mansion had burned. Many had died. The trail led to one name, Ling Ye. Yan Wei went pale. She refused to believe Ling Ye was a killer. Zug urged her to stay calm and hear Huang out. Ling Ye, they said, could one-shot cultivators 4 ranks above his own. And so the investigation pointed straight at Ye Lin. Huang's eye glowed soft violet. He used a lie detection ability. Yan Wei swore on her name. Ling Ye was no coward. The truth registered. Zhuge and Huang took the answer and left. Above the city, the night air seemed to hold its breath. Back with Ye Lin, Lin Yu had picked the next stop, the Equipment Bureau. A clerk greeted them and asked what kind of training they wanted. Lin Yu suggested a level 30 room. Ye Lin politely disagreed. He wanted level 40. The clerk's smile did something complicated. Ye Lin had killed his way to a cursed sword. Now his boss wanted to grade it. Miss Zhugu confirmed the booking, discreetly. The night sky waited like a curtain about to lift. Boss Kenzin had brought him here to test his equipment. Ye Lin was the equipment. "Could you tell me your level?" the manager asked. Kenzin replied, "It's 16. The manager flinched. 16 was very expensive. 100,000 yuan for a room rated 40 and below. 40 dummies waited in the dark. They did not know what was coming. Ye Lin smiled. "There are no cameras, so I can do whatever I want." He drew the cursed blade. First, burning reincarnation. He flicked the sword. The room lit up red. 40 dummies began to burn at once. The dummies had not signed up for this. Then the second curse, life sword. Kenzin watched, calm. "Good. Try the next one." Outside, the staff listened to the noise and considered new careers. "He must be joking," the manager whispered. "A level 16 can wreck a level 40 room." When they emerged, Ye Lin only shrugged. "Let's go home." Somewhere across town, voices were screaming for the heavens. G family residence, 2 guards, 1 quiet door. Then a blade flashed out of the dark. "Hey, what's wrong with you?" The guard never finished the question. He fell. The killer kept walking. Inside the study, Mr. G was reading a quiet novel. His butler stumbled in, pale. "Run, master! Quickly!" Mr. G turned. A blade was already buried where his heart should be. The intruder smiled. "Mr. G, we meet again." A bodyguard burst in, gun raised. "Kenzin!" He fired. The intruder did not bother dodging. "You fool. Bringing a gun against an immortal." He pinned the bodyguard underfoot. "Boss, I couldn't find them." A second figure stepped from the shadows. "Take him alive. I'll let him live a little longer." Across the city, Ye Lin and Kenzin returned home. "Why aren't the lights on? Is there a power outage?" Kenzin asked. Ye Lin's eyes narrowed. He had felt this kind of quiet before. "Ha," he said, "the smell of blood." They opened the door. A body lay in a dark pool. "No, we must have entered the wrong place. This is not my home." "Dad? Uncle Fu? Where are you?" The hall answered with silence. Then he saw it on the floor, a torn scrap of paper. "Ye Lin, come look at this." The note was a ransom. "Bring Lin to the underground market, or his father dies." "It's Kenzin," the boss snarled. "I'm going to kill him." Ye Lin shook his head. "No, I want to kill him with my own hands." "Boss, I must—" Ye Lin chopped him on the neck before he finished the sentence. He caught Kenzin as he fell. "Trust me, I will bring Uncle G back safely." He laid the boss on the couch. "Kenzin, I'll show you what I really am. How terrifying is a curse master who doesn't care about his own life." He moved through the city like a hunting blade. Qing City Underground Black Market. The kind of place tourists never find. A blade slashed at him from a doorway. It missed. He was somewhere else already. Good thing I was fast enough, Ye Lin thought. Two figures watched him from the alley. Two brothers, masked. They discovered me so quickly. That's impossible. Brother, what era is this? Why are you still hiding in the shadows? Red beams flickered alive. Infrared cameras. Let's go. The boss has waited long enough. He had walked into a temple. He was not, he suspected, leaving one. The thing on the throne wore his master's face, mostly. Chen Mo stepped closer, hand steady, heart less so. Something behind the eyes was not the man who taught him. Red threads bled from the air. The hall began to remember pain. A demon stirred beneath the floor. It had been waiting a long time. The master spoke. The voice was correct. The words were not. Chen Mo felt the cold first, then the weight, then the smile. Below, a thing of bone and silk uncurled like a question. It was, in his judgment, an unfriendly question. Threads ran from its arms into the master's spine. The man he loved was the puppet. The thing below pulled the strings. Chen Mo drew breath. The curse art stirred in his bones. The puppet demon rose. It was tall in the way bad news is tall. It introduced itself with a blade. He thought it could have used a name. Chen Mo parried. Sparks. Bone on steel. The demon was faster than the master had ever been. He gave ground. Then more ground. Things were not going well. The hall watched. Hall does. Halls have nothing better to do. Chen Mo set his feet. The curse mark on his palm began to glow. Outside, two cultivators heard the noise. They chose, wisely, not to enter. He spoke a word he had not used since his old life. The curse came when he called. It always had. Black key crawled up his arm like ink finding a page. The demon paused. It had not, perhaps, expected company. Chen Mo struck. The blade went where he meant it to. A thread snapped, then another. The puppet shuddered. The demon screamed, politely, all considered. And the hall finally took notice. Wounded, the demon doubled. Then it tripled. Math was not its friend. 3 blades came at him from 3 sides. Chen Mo took 2 of them, mostly with his coat. Blood on the floor. His. The hall did not seem surprised. He found his footing. He found his anger. He preferred the second. The curse mark widened. The room grew quieter than rooms should. He moved. The demon, briefly, did not. 2 clones cracked apart, missed where bone had been. 1 demon was left. It was the unlucky one. Far above, on a snowed peak, others felt the noise. A woman in white turned her head. Something old had woken. Back in the hall, Chen Mo finished his sentence with a sword. The puppet demon came apart, quietly, like a regret. His master fell. Free, smaller than he remembered. Smoke and mountain wind. The hall held its breath. By morning, news of the fight had walked down the mountain. Down the mountain, in the city, evening came on schedule. An old shopkeeper closed up. He had not heard the news yet. 3 men found him in the alley. They did not want bread. A young man with glasses was, regrettably, also present. He looked weak. He had been told he was weak. He almost believed it. The first man swung. Glasses ducked. By accident, mostly. Something inside him answered. A second voice, an older one. His eye flickered, red, brief, not entirely his. The shopkeeper, sensibly, took several steps back. Up the stairs. 3 thugs, 1 youth. The math looked unfair. It was. For them. He moved like a man remembering a dance from a previous life. Somewhere on the mountain, Chen Mo looked up. He was not the only one anymore. The city below had no idea a curse was about to fall on it. Our hero stood on the rooftop, coat dramatic, eyes serious. He raised his hand. The sky listened. Curse spell, straying thunder, the name was on the wind. Lightning poured down the towers like liquid law. Far away, a figure in glass slept on. For now, the blast hit. Everything within a block forgot how to stand. Then a voice, calm, from the smoke. Someone had walked through a city killing spell and was annoyed about it. He had not planned to meet a god today, but here we were. The hero swallowed once, calculated his odds. The stranger stepped forward, coat untouched, hair untouched, patience also untouched. Words were exchanged, threats mostly, the polite kind. Things were not going well. He raised his hand, another spell. Bigger. Lightning answered for the second time tonight. The stranger watched it come, did not move. Somewhere in the city, a window quietly cracked. The thunder hit. The world went white. The hero smirked. He'd put everything into that one. A second strike, for safety. Insurance, basically. When the dust settled, the stranger was still standing. His coat had a small tear. He looked offended about it. Meanwhile, somewhere else entirely, a man was having a very nice afternoon. A messenger arrived. The afternoon got worse. He stood up, quietly, with purpose. His eyes went pale. The room got cold. Power coiled in his palm. Old, polite, completely murderous. He stepped out the door, ready to ruin someone's evening. A second figure waited. They had been expecting him. Two of them walked out together. Same direction. Different reasons. The night air had a faint smell of ozone. They smiled. They reached the edge of the safe district. The wards were already humming. The older one gave instructions. The younger one stopped joking. A circle opened in the air. Blue light, old runes, a teleport gate, long range, expensive. Across the city, a figure stepped out of the same light. The young man surveyed the rubble. Whoever did this had taste. Bodies. Burn marks. A single tooth somehow. He crouched, touched the ash. Tasted nothing he liked. Curse residue. Strong enough to leave a flavor on the wind. Down an alley, the trail kept going. So did they. A witness, or what was left of one. They asked questions. The questions were politely terrifying. The witness pointed a shaking finger toward the rooftops. Then a shape moved. Behind them, fast. Steel met steel before either side said a word. Our hero, full coat, bad attitude, swung first. He missed. Just barely. Pride survived. The pale-eyed man flicked 2 fingers. The world bent around them. Our hero's coat survived. His balance did not. Far away, a woman opened her eyes. She'd felt the curse from rooms away. Whoever it belonged to, she knew the name. And tonight, that name was about to come back into her life. Yelin had come to the black market with a sword and a grudge. The curse woman bled onto the floor and laughed about spells. Kenzan begged. He had killed plenty, but dying was, in his view, for other people. The woman knew nothing, a useful condition in a witness. Yelin walked toward her with the calm of a man finishing chores. His curse boiled out, red and hungry, and the air went sour. 2 underlings asked what he was doing. He did not feel like answering. Kenzan, said the woman, had killed her brother. She would not forgive. He told the survivors to walk away. He had decided to let them live, which surprised everyone. The woman stared. She had expected a sword. She got mercy instead. Behind him, the city skyline burned green with curse fire. Hours later, in the family villa, his father finally opened his eyes. Yelin sat at the bedside, dry-eyed. Crying, he felt, was for later. Father Ye Elda asked how on earth he had been pulled out alive. Uncle G had done it, burned the black market down on his way out. They spoke of a mysterious strong man and an upcoming exam Yelin still had to take. Then officers in black suits stepped through the door. Officer Huang warned that resisting would ruin everyone's evening. Yelin shrugged. He told Uncle G to remember to pick him up. A door clicked open down the hall. Uncle G remembered suddenly. that there was also a girl in this house. Ling Ye, his sister, appeared in the doorway demanding answers. She coughed hard against the wall. She had been sick for some time. Uncle Ji told her to change. The bureau, he said, was waiting. Outside, the Qing City Investigation Bureau loomed in the morning haze. Inside the cell, Ye Lin sat down and decided to be quiet. He would not say a word until the lawyer came. A man in dark glasses warned him not to be cocky. Then he smiled. The man grabbed his collar and asked, simply, where it was. He told Ye Lin to stop pretending. He wanted the key Kenson had carried. The first slap landed. Ye Lin reflected that interrogations had really gone downhill. The key, Ye Lin said, was not with him. Touch me again, he warned, and you will get nothing for the rest of your life. Fine, he sighed. The key was with him. Let him out, and they would talk. Such a gangster, the man muttered, almost admiringly. Ye Lin asked to make a call. Sooner or later, he added, you will pay for this. He dialed with a bloody hand and waited for the line to pick up. 10 minutes later, polished shoes echoed down the corridor. A red-haired lawyer in a fine suit walked in. Ye Lin recognized him at once. Zhuge told the bureau to stop posturing and just take what they wanted. He thanked Ye Lin politely. Ye Lin wondered if he was being possessed in real time. He had his own reasons, Zhuge said softly. Then he leaned close and whispered the one thing nobody on Earth was supposed to know. If word of his immortality ever spread, every strong fighter alive would hunt him. He knew. Ye Lin spent half a second deciding whether to kill him on the spot. Zhuge looked up and asked innocently what immortality even was. He had felt the murderous flicker. He had also baited it on purpose. Looks true, he murmured. Immortal, and yet so very breakable. He had a proposition. Become his disciple, and the secret would die with them. Ye Lin gave him the smile of a man already plotting something. Outside, Zhuge held up the key and laughed. He had handed over a fake. He wanted the real one, the ancient heavenly key. He explained slowly, like a teacher who enjoyed the sound of his own voice. Long ago, a heavenly gate descender brought monsters into the world. He also dropped 7 ancient artifacts before he left. Each one carries unimaginable power, and each one is buried somewhere on Earth. The ancient heavenly key, said Zhuge, is the key that opens that gate. He held the real key in his palm, the world's most dangerous lockpick. Zhuge offered to sponsor Ye Lin's tuition at the Supreme Academy. He had one last thing to entrust. Ye Lin asked warily, what? A boy with a curse no one can see. A test the world will not survive. The world hangs above him, indifferent and bright. Somewhere, a woman in red waits at the threshold. Hands open, a small sphere of fate. 2 figures square off. Neither plans to lose. He had not planned to fight today. Then the air around him caught fire. Chapter 12. The boy returns to where it all began. 2 friends. One ordinary day, so far. The friend leans in with the day's gossip. Ordinary streets, ordinary errands. He almost relaxes. Then she appears. Red hair, sharp eyes, sharper questions. Things were not going well. The girl pulls them aside. The conversation is not optional. She has been looking for him. He had hoped otherwise. She asks her question. He chooses his answer carefully. He plays innocent. She's not buying it. The friend watches the exchange. Quietly, he begins to worry. She tells them where to go. It is not a request. The boys follow. They do not love this plan. Outside, the world begins to change. A new figure looms. Black coat, sharper edges than the room. He delivers his news. Nobody likes the news. The sky opens. A field appears beyond the city. Silhouettes gather on a rise, many of them, all armed. The 2 boys arrive at the back of the crowd. They ask what is happening. They will regret asking. Blood streaks the air. The contest has already begun. The crowd erupts. Someone has just passed. Another roar. Another name added to the list. A wall stands at the edge of the field. Swords planted in rows. 1 blade per candidate. The boys exchange a look. They understand the test now. The friend asks if they can leave. They cannot. Names are called. Theirs is on the list. A voice calls ready. The crowd quiets. A figure walks into the open ring. The final test. No second tries. Our boy steps forward. He looks calmer than he should. His opponent, a silver-haired youth, already smug. The signal drops. Go. He moves first. The opponent only smiles wider. Steel meets blood. The duel is on. First clash. The silver-haired youth moves like water. He sees the opening. He takes it without hesitation. Our boy is not where the blade expected. The opponent recovers. He raises his sword again. He calls his trick. The crowd holds its breath. Ice rises around him. The arena freezes over. From the stands, the friend goes very, very still. The dust settles. Officials count what is left. A judge announces the result. The friend stares. Words are not coming. Two figures speak in low voices, well away from the field. Something has been decided. He was not consulted. Red marks bloom across the girl's skin. The curse has chosen its next host, and he has no idea. Ye Lin had a secret, and the forest was about to learn it. The hunting party fanned out among the trees, alert and ready. Their leader carried himself with the calm of someone confident. Ye Lin stayed at the back, blending in like wallpaper. Ahead, an old courtyard waited under the morning light. It was, the leader assured them, perfectly safe. It was not. Beneath the moss, something very old had been waiting. Tall pines, small birds, nothing alarming yet. A scout drifted ahead, sword loose, eyes everywhere. The blond captain moved like a man who had done this before. He was, by his own estimate, the strongest man here. He was wrong, but no one had told him. A weathered gate rose from the brush, half swallowed by vines. Behind it, the courtyard breathed in slow, patient silence. The forest changed first, then the air, then everything. A goblin emerged from the brush, teeth bared. Then another, and another. The ruin had tenants. Ye Lin watched, calmly, the way one watches weather. Then he raised one finger. Lightning fell, fast and white and final. The goblin became, briefly, a question. Then it was answered, loudly. Smoke curled where a creature had stood. The party turned, slowly, in the direction of the noise. No one had seen anyone cast anything. The captain frowned, considering this. Then he decided not to. Mysteries, in his experience, were always someone else's problem. Onward they went, deeper into the courtyard. Stone faces watched from the walls, none of them friendly. A knight stepped from the shadows, larger than any man. Its armor was old, its grudge older. The captain raised his blade. Things were not going well. He swung. The blade rang. The knight did not move. A second swing, a third. The captain began to sweat. At the back, Ye Lin lifted his hand again. Lightning answered. The courtyard turned white. A system message bloomed in everyone's vision. The knight had been killed. Class boss, solo. The redhead, Ye Lin, stared. She had questions. Ye Lin had answers. He was not sharing them. Beneath the courtyard, something began to wake. The blast still hung in the air, refusing to leave. The captain mouthed something. No sound came out. Ye Lin turned slowly, certain now. Their quiet classmate was, in fact, terrifying. Ye Lin, for his part, looked bored. He preferred it that way. Bored people get fewer questions. Then a chill swept the courtyard. Not from the wind. Robes drifted in a place where nothing moved. A figure stood among the stones, watching. It had not been there a moment ago. The figure raised a hand, slow as a tide. Ye Lin felt her feet leave the ground. She did not enjoy it. An invisible hand pulled her toward the dark. Ye Lin watched her go. He sighed. Saving her would mean using more power. Power people would notice. From the stone, a coffin began to rise, gold and waiting. Petals of gold light bloomed around its lid. Whatever slept inside was about to be very awake. A new system message arrived. It was generous. The captain grinned. Loot, he reasoned, was always his. The boy had passed his magic exam by murdering everything that moved. The goblin hero was dead. 220 experience points said so. And then it dropped a talisman of symbiosis, a vanishingly rare item. His teammates noticed. They had not, of course, contributed. You keep stealing all our kills, they accused, with the wounded air of bystanders. He smirked. I'm just a kind man, he said, holding the kind man's sword. The red-haired girl was unconvinced. She had known him too long. Forget him. Finish the exam first. We'll deal with him later. The protagonist had heard them. He had also already changed his face. The exam zone. Daocheng's underground forest. First place wins 500 days of cultivation. Somewhere in that green dark, a small figure crouched in the leaves. He had used a forbidden illusion skin to swap faces. He found this hilarious. "Tisk," he said, scanning the forest. The teammates would not be returning. The talisman shared experience between two hosts. Used right, every kill counted twice. Then someone screamed for help. The forest was busy tonight. 3 examinees, cornered. Something dark moved between the trees. An Anubis soldier, wolf-headed, level 13, in a hurry to feed. A blade entered the frame from somewhere off-screen. It did not introduce itself. "Boss," the survivors said, recognizing the back of his head. He smiled politely. The goblin hero, he reported, had been killed by other examiners. Then he handed his classmate the rare talisman. The classmate looked unwell. A second Anubis lunged from the dark. The forest was generous tonight. The classmates screamed about the monster. The protagonist had already drawn. Forbidden spell. Lifespan, sword skill. LVL 13. Anubis soldier killed. 130 experience. Symbiosis effect triggered. His classmate stared at the talisman. "Where did you get this?" "Go kill some mobs yourself," said the protagonist with the patience of a saint. "Boss, that was a misunderstanding. I'm really straight," the classmate explained urgently. To squeeze the talisman dry, both hosts had to grind solo. Splitting was strategy. "All right," said the classmate, "but honestly, there aren't many monsters I can handle." Elsewhere, 3 other examinees were taking down a level 10 werewolf. Slowly. Then a blade came past them at impossible speed. 3 werewolves went down. The examinees had not finished one. "That's the forbidden spellcaster who took first place last test," one whispered. They noticed the band on his wrist. They began to suspect equipment was involved. "I have to keep my immortal body's secret hidden from all of you," he thought. A new group was running. Running, in this exam, was the bad sign. "Run! It's a level 20 Minotaur." Their level was 4. The math was not encouraging. The Minotaur arrived. It looked pleased to see them. Then a quiet voice from behind. "All these monsters are mine." He moved through them the way a scythe moves through wheat. Blue spell light flared. The forest brightened, briefly, with extinction. Experience notifications stacked up the screen like rain on glass. The bound classmate somewhere was leveling up for free. He found this delightful. Far above the forest, the elders were watching on a scrying screen. If only this child weren't a forbidden spellcaster, one sighed. Daocheng would have a new dragon. 3 latecomers stepped into the forest. They had timed their entrance for safety. "It really does look," one observed, "like there aren't many monsters left here." Walking late, it turned out, was an excellent strategy. They beamed. "Let's hurry," they said, "before someone else gets to the gate." Ahead of them, a teleport gate burned in the air. The protagonist was already there. "All the monsters are dead. I'm only at level 36, he muttered. 36 was, by any reasonable standard, a war crime against the curve. He stepped toward the gate. Time to enter the final examination zone. The gate flared, then cracked open like a black egg. On the other side, a vaulted hall waited, lit by something colder than fire. "So this is the final examination zone," he said. He started up the stairs. Yelin had hidden his power for years. Tonight, the academy decided to dig. A figure stood inside a ring of crows and broken bone. Black feathers exploded outward. The thing inside was already moving. Yelin watched, calm. He had, after all, seen worse on Tuesdays. 2 students stepped onto the platform. They did not look pleased to be there. Above them, a banner announced the trial. Below, the floor was already cracked. The proctors took their seats. Names were called. The list was short. Yelin's name was first. He sighed, the way a man sighs at laundry. A young woman in red watched from the gallery. Her name was Ling Yue. She had decided Yelin would lose. He had not yet been told. 3 pillars rose from the arena floor, carved with old runes. From the broken stone, a swarm of black insects poured out. Ye Lin studied them the way a chef studies onions. He raised one hand. A thin blue line traced the air. The line cut through the swarm. The swarm stopped existing. 2 crossed blades hung above the gate. The next opponent was waiting. Stone soldiers climbed up from the arena floor, one shoulder at a time. Their captain stepped forward, twice the height of a man. The crowd murmured. The proctors looked, briefly, concerned. Ye Lin had not moved. He looked, in fact, mildly bored. He flicked his wrist. A spear of light formed and waited. The captain charged. 20 stone soldiers charged with him. The spear left his hand. The arena lit up white. When the dust settled, only the captain's shadow remained. A spirit woman in white floated above the dais, gown drifting on no wind. Ye Lin studied her. She was, he decided, the next test. A red-haired student stepped onto the floor, sword half drawn. He wanted the spirit's blessing. He had not asked Ye Lin first. Ice crawled up the dais. The temperature in the arena fell 10 degrees. The redhead swung. The ice answered first. An older proctor watched, his jaw tight. He had not expected this child. From a high balcony, a sect elder leaned on the rail, fascinated. Ye Lin lifted his arm. The spirit woman lifted hers in answer. A wall of frost roared between them. Then it cracked open. The spirit screamed. The arena floor caved beneath her. An older man at the edge of the gallery began to laugh. He had judged 100 trials. He had never seen this. Down on the floor, Ye Lin lowered his hand. The trial was, technically, over. An old text floated open in the air, pages turning by themselves. Above the arena, a thin black figure dropped from the rafters. It landed in a crouch. The proctors stood up at once. The figure rose. A second pair of eyes opened on its forehead. This was not part of the trial. Someone, somewhere, had cheated. Ye Lin tilted his head. He looked, for the first time, interested. He pulled a thin wooden tablet from his sleeve and read it once. Up in the gallery, 3 students watched, arms folded. None of them were smiling. Ye Lin lowered the tablet. Whatever it said, it had been useful. A red-cloaked woman strode in, sword on her hip, anger 1 step ahead of her. She wanted answers. The proctors did not have any. An older student stepped forward, mouth opening, then closing again. He drew his sword. He realized, halfway, he was holding it backward. A young woman with a red ribbon stared down at Ye Lin. Something in her chest had shifted. On the floor, the assassin readied his blade. Ye Lin had not bothered to draw his. The red-cloaked woman whispered orders to a younger student behind her. Ye Lin glanced up. The look was brief and very polite. The assassin moved. Twin daggers crossed the air toward Ye Lin's throat. He didn't dodge. He simply was no longer where the daggers were. On the gallery, the red ribbon girl had stopped breathing. 2 figures drifted past each other, faces pale, eyes wide. Ye Lin turned, his back to the assassin. He had already decided who dies next. Ye Lin had passed the test. Now the academy wanted to see him bleed for it. The examiner declared a half-hour rest before the tournament began. 2 examinees had scored full marks. That had not happened in years. First place, Zhuge Ni. Second, Ye Lin, both from Qingcheng Academy. Principal Su laughed like a man who had bet on the right horse. Fourth place was also Qingcheng. The other academies were having a quiet day. Somewhere in the crowd, a redhead studied Ye Lin and was not impressed. Supreme Curse Master. Chapter 16. The half-hour ended quickly. The girl in red watched Ye Lin closely. She had decided to win. Ye Lin sighed. He had not asked for a rival. The tournament rules were simple. Win a match, earn 10 marks, advance. Brackets were drawn by lottery. Fate, in other words. Ye Lin's first opponent stepped forward. A pale girl, hands trembling. She declared she would not lose. The audience admired her optimism. Both fighters faced off, swords drawn. The examiner asked them to declare profession and level. The arena bell rang. The battle had begun. Ye Lin offered her a way out. "Surrender now," he said. "It would be better." She refused. "Bravery," she insisted, was its own answer. Ye Lin's eyes flickered. He had hoped she would listen. Then the air cracked open above the arena. Lightning, summoned and angry. The examiner's voice cut through the static. Killing was forbidden in this round. Disqualification awaited anyone who took it too far. Ye Lin had no plans to kill her. He just needed her to give up. He raised a hand. The sky obeyed. The girl's bravery evaporated. She dropped to her knees, sobbing. She surrendered between sobs. Round 1 ended faster than the introductions. Round 1 ended in a sob and a bow. The crowd watched, unsure whether to clap. It really was a shame, an examiner muttered. Then he glanced at the next bracket. Across the arena, the redhead stepped onto the platform. Flame curled around her hand. "You can't win against me," she told her opponent. She had decided. He had not been told. A blonde youth swaggered up next, confidence in a face that had clearly never lost. "A guy like you dares face me," he laughed. The arena did not laugh back. The bracket reset. Yi Lin's second match was about to begin. Round 2 officially started. The new opponent eyed Ye Lin and reconsidered his life. "If my opponent were stronger," Ye Lin admitted, "things might get a bit difficult." Chen, cloud-stepping swordsman, level 11. He thought he could still win. The audience whispered. A level 11, that confident? He had to be hiding something. Chen told himself not to drop his guard. The guard, sensing trouble, dropped itself. "I surrender," he announced. The sword had not even left its sheath. Ye Lin blinked. He had been ready for a fight. Apparently, nobody else was. Ye Lin won round 2 without lifting a finger. 10 more marks, no sweat. He won without fighting? The audience could not decide if it was elegant or insulting. One spectator argued the surrender was reasonable. Who would risk their life against a forbidden spellcaster? Round 3. The brackets continued, and so did the bad luck. Ye Lin's third opponent saw who he was facing. "Why did I draw this monster?" he muttered, and surrendered. Ye Lin had won round 2 without lifting a finger. His opponent had simply quit. The crowd was confused. The crowd was, frankly, doing their best. Round 3, same boy, same examiner, another instant surrender. His opponent had not even attempted to lose with dignity. 3 rounds, 1 forbidden spell. No one wanted to be next. The other candidates wondered if he could pass without doing anything at all. On the next stage, a different fight. This one would actually happen. Wang Zhengguang, Dragon Shadow style. He introduced himself with a knee. Mr. Luo watched, calm as a man who already knew the answer. The other candidates couldn't follow Wang's movements at all. They agreed on one thing. Wang would defeat them in an instant. Teacher Su asked Luo Jun very gently who he expected to win. Luo Jun did not need to think. The answer arrived on stage in shadow. Wang's shadow cloud fight unfolded. It was, briefly, beautiful. Wang screamed once. Wang did not scream twice. Luo Jun had answered the question, loudly. Round 5. Test-taker Ye Lin skipped again. He was not impressed. But the next match caught his eye. Ling Yu was finally up. Ling Yu against Zhu Ge. This, finally, was going to be interesting. Her opponent demanded to know what Ye Lin had given her to make her serve him. Ling Yu's reply was simple. "He's my boss. One day you'll regret asking." "Stubborn," he muttered. Then she opened her spellbook. Phoenix flame explosion. The arena turned the color of a small sun. Zhu Ge stared at the fire. Fire stared back. He had fire elemental spells too. They suddenly felt smaller. Phoenix flames bloomed across the stage. The audience took several careful steps back. "I'm a close-range fighter. Yet she's also long-range." He could not get close. Ling Yu pressed her advantage with the patience of a flamethrower. A column of flame swallowed the air. Zhu Ge dodged. Barely. He drew a sword. It was, in his opinion, his best plan all day. Sword skill, slash. A red arc cut through the inferno. Snow fell from the cracked sky. The arena had become weather. Zhu Ge stood up anyway. He announced he would fight her. "Idiot," Ling Yu replied. It was not, technically, a spell. She opened her spellbook again. "Surrender now," she said. Red flame surge. The sky decided to participate. "Those who underestimate me will pay the price," she said. He had paid. In the crowd, the bald man muttered that Ling Yu was nothing special. Ji Ling Yu was going to lose, he insisted. He insisted very hard. Ye Lin watched. He told the examiners to ready the medics. The flame curled overhead like something alive and offended. Then it broke. A figure tore through the fire and reached her. "You!" Ling Yu's eyes went wide. "Are you out of your mind?" He struck. "This is a warning to you," he said. "I warn you. You can provoke me, but not my boss." Ling Yu fell. Her own warning had not been enough. "Ling Yu!" Yelin shouted. He was already moving. "Medics, hurry up." The arena had stopped pretending to be a tournament. Ye Lin held her up. He told her to hold on. The yin-yang bangle would protect her heart. Zhu Guni looked guilty now. He hadn't meant to go that far. Ye Lin believed him. The examiners ruled it. Ling Yu would live. Burns, but no fatal wound. "Boss, give it your all," she whispered. "Ling Yu, you did well," he said. Next up, the second quarter-final. Ye Lin against Luo Jun. This year's top scorer would emerge from these four. The principal had a favorite. Principal Su was confident. Luo Jun was a yukai genius. He would win. Old Gao disagreed. A level 19 forbidden spellcaster gets the last laugh. The quarterfinals. 4 students. 1 forbidden duel from glory. This year's top scorer would be born among these 4. Principal Su backed his prodigy, Luo Jun, without flinching. Old Gao disagreed, loudly, as elders tend to do. "He won't last a single spell," Old Gao warned. Then the round began. Arguments would have to wait. Luo Jun, Shadow Dragon Spear, level 14. He had waited a long time to fight Ye Lin. Ye Lin replied with 2 syllables. "Is that so?" Luo Jun struck first. "Kneel down and beg, Ye Lin." He promised to use no forbidden spells, a generous handicap. Instead, he drew the lifespan sword skill, a forbidden spellcaster fighting in close combat. The crowd flinched. "I'll show you the strength of a forbidden spellcaster's sword skill." Each strike landed harder than the last. That was the price of the skill. The crowd grew confused. Forbidden spellcasters did not usually swing swords. Ye Lin held the line. Barely. Old Gao recognized the skill. Old Su pretended not to. "Aren't you surrendering yet?" Luo Jun was beginning to panic. "Ye Lin, you forced me to do this." Heavy shadow strike. Something was wrong. Ye Lin had blocked the strike too easily. Did Luo Jun think he was the only one with forbidden tricks? A forbidden spell talisman, held quietly, waiting. Luo Jun answered with one of his own. Shadow Dragon Meteor. "Die, Ye Lin." The blade found its mark. Impact. White light, then nothing. The meteor struck the ground where Ye Lin had stood. Ye Lin's chest opened. Blood drew a slow, honest line. "You won't live much longer, so just die already." Luo Jun won? The crowd could not quite believe it. A talisman that wounds the user. Did Luo Jun also wish to die? Principal Su called it pity. Old Gao called it murder. "Medics!" Old Gao shouted. The 2 principals went on arguing anyway. Across the arena, a red-haired woman watched. Quiet. Unreadable. Even she could not have dodged that strike. Ye Lin died like that. The match isn't over yet. Luo Jun smiled. "What if you're level 18? You're still losing to me." "Who told you I lost?" Luo Jun's confidence cracked. Ye Lin stood up, bleeding, but standing. "Your heart is pierced. You should not still be alive." Old Su recognized it. A forbidden spell long thought lost. Forbidden spell, undying. Lifespan traded for immunity. The wound was already closing. Ye Lin raised his hand. "Now, it's my turn." Forbidden spell, world-destroying thunder. The arena floor split open beneath Luo Jun. Lightning swallowed the duel whole. "No! Impossible!" "Ah!" The thunder did not negotiate. The crowd had a unified opinion. "This is too scary. Ye Lin wins." "Medics," Old Gao called it, smiling this time. Elsewhere, hidden eyes murmured, "We're now set." 3 travelers reach the cursed city as night falls. The Red Warrior steps ahead. He smells blood already. His companion checks the alleys. Empty. Too empty. A crest hangs above the gate. The mark of a curse. The warrior draws his blade. red on red, like always. Then he froze. Something moved on the rooftop. On the tiles, a woman in red kept watch over the dead street. A cloaked stranger appeared behind her. He had not made a sound. He asked, very politely, whether she planned to die tonight. She did not answer. Her hand drifted to her sword. She had decided. He had not been told. She stepped forward, blade low, eyes locked on his hood. He smiled. He had been waiting for this all night. A bloody handprint stained the white wall behind her. Someone had already died here, quietly. The Red Warrior found her below, kneeling in the smoke. She told him she could finish this. He, in his opinion, disagreed politely. Below them, the courtyard caught fire on its own. Flames climbed the walls like they had been told to. The cloaked man landed in the square. The crowd took one careful step back, and then another step, just to be safe. The Red Warrior raised his blade above his head. He shouted the technique he had practiced for years. Red flame slash. The square went bright as morning. A phoenix of fire tore down the street toward the cloak. The flames hit the ground first. The man waited for them. Fire climbed the rooftop. The whole roof went orange. Her eye caught the light. She had not expected this. Her hand started shaking before she could stop it. She called his name. Her voice broke on it. Tears ran down. She had told him to stay back. The phoenix came down on the courtyard like a falling sun. She watched it land. The sound came a second later. Above the courtyard, 3 more figures arrived to watch. One of them muttered that this fight was already over. Inside the fire, the cloaked man stood completely unburned. The Red Warrior, in his opinion, had not planned for this. The cloak rose. The flames bent around it like servants. Things were not going well. A bird crossed the morning sky. It did not stop to look. Below, blood crossed the dust in a long, thin line. The Red Warrior was still standing, barely. He told himself one more swing. He always told himself that. She stayed kneeling. Her knees would not move. A gold coin fell from his sleeve and rolled across the stone. Then the cloak struck. The warrior went down hard. She screamed his name across the burning courtyard. The cloak turned slowly toward her next. 2 duelists, 1 arena, and a crowd holding its breath. "Give up now and end your skill," Ye Lin warned. Yuan refused. "I won't lose, even if it kills us both." She looked, briefly, like a woman with options. She had none. "Hurry up, prepare to save them," Ye Lin shouted to the elders. Yunguan reached for the spell forbidden to everyone except the desperate. "This crazy woman," Ye Lin muttered, as flames erupted around her. She slashed her own arm. Blood paid the toll. "Sacrifice," she screamed, and 10 years left her life. The arena split. Spikes of stone tore upward from the floor. The forbidden spell. Wailing wall. Stone heads from the depths of hell. It buys 10 levels above the spellcaster, paid in years. A column of fire answered Ye Lin's counter. The arena burned. The elders gaped. That forbidden spell, how does he know it? Ye Lin shrugged. He had unlocked it. He didn't know what it did. Actually, Yunguan stammered, hair scorched, dignity worse. Her heart, traitor that it was, decided he wasn't so bad after all. The crowd murmured. The match was, at last, decided. "Ayah!" she yelped, dropping into the dust like a defeated empress. She hit the ground. The crowd hit a confused silence. "What?" the elders murmured. They had not planned for this. An elder rubbed his temple. Tsk. Politics already. Yunguan rose, hair wild. "Ye Lin, I'm not finished with you." Examiner Yu Lin had reached the top score of the year's final exam. The crowd erupted. Top scorer. Top scorer. Ye Lin rocks. "Ha ha, it's finally over," he sighed, pushing up his glasses. "Ye Lin, as this year's top scorer, which academy will you choose?" Ye Lin answered without hesitation. "The Supreme Academy." The crowd repeated the name like a prayer. Supreme. Supreme. A woman in green stepped forward. "I'm sorry, Ye Lin. You can't enter the Supreme Academy." "Why?" he asked. "Because you are a forbidden spellcaster. After job change, you have no value to train." "I understand," Ye Lin said quietly. He had heard worse, briefly. Around them, the whispers began. Forbidden. Top scorer. Both true. Both inconvenient. Then a voice rose from the side. "Teacher Sue," said Mr. Juge. "The thing you're worried about, I might have already found a solution." "Mr. Juge, what do you mean?" the headmistress asked. "Yelin is my disciple. I found a new way. It greatly reduces the harm a forbidden spell does to its caster." She studied him. "Mr. Juge, you're skilled in astrology. Chung Shin, don't ruin a genius's future. The Supreme will not recruit a forbidden spellcaster." "Forget it. There's no harsh feelings. It's just an academy." "Such arrogance. Just an academy?" A new voice, behind him. A red-robed master raised a blade. "Yelin, look out!" Light flared. Something stopped the blade mid-air. Yelin lifted his head. "Who are you?" the attacker snarled. "You forbidden spellcaster. You dare speak so boldly here." And then a stranger stepped between them. Blonde, calm, ancient. He spoke without raising his voice. "Yun Guanlo, try that again, and I will make you go back and write a letter of apology." Ye Lin stared at the stranger's back. "Who are you?" Silence answered.